Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Activate. My name is Radu Miclaus. I'm a Director of Product for AI and Cloud Services at Lucidworks. And this session is about the Lucidworks Kubernetes Service and how you can accelerate Fusion 5 adoption for self-hosted enterprises. Before we jump in, there's three areas that we're going to touch on during the presentation. And one of the big ones, obviously, throughout the conference, which is one of the themes for us, is why upgrade to Fusion 5? Also, we'll talk a little bit about the ways to deploy Fusion 5. And then we'll talk a little bit about the details of the Lucidworks Kubernetes Service. For us, Fusion 5 has been a journey that's been driven by innovation by our customers. And in many ways, they continuously have been asking us for reduced time to value, accessing new solutions, and also maximizing data science. In terms of reduced time to value, there's a whole area of focus around how can we actually get our applications up and running faster, how do we manage them, and how we drive value from them in a shorter time span. And for that, we've been able to adapt very robust cloud native architecture for Fusion 5 as compared to Fusion 4 that brings tremendous capabilities to bear. Also, accessing new solutions. Since last year when we announced Fusion 5, we've added a lot of AI capabilities and domain-specific capabilities that you will see throughout the conference that are very exciting and only available in Fusion 5. And maximizing data science. How can we make the platform more accessible and more pluggable by data science teams that would like to influence and add more value from a data science perspective to the search experience? So we'll spend a little bit of time on talking specifically about the cloud native architecture advantages and the type of things that we can expect by moving to a cloud native architecture with Fusion 5. And first and foremost, flexible deployments. Anywhere where containers can run, Fusion 5 can deploy. It is cloud native architecture that is easy to scale and easy to run day-to operations on. We also can talk about application resilience. For many of you, search is a mission-critical application, whether it's on your e-commerce site or on your intranet in your workplace environment. So as a number of application queries, data sources are increasing, that engine needs to scale with that environment. And this is where application resilience comes in by being architected in a cloud-native fashion. DevOps friendly. Our personas and our drivers in the operation sites in our customer sites are definitely exciting about starting to integrate a lot more the practices that Fusion is using now for CI/CD, continuous integration and deployment into their operations. And now the platform is able to fully integrate into those DevOps practices accordingly. And finally, global support. Supporting operations across the globe is very important for us, and that's been a staple of the Fusion platform for a long time now. This is where customers are driving a lot of value out of having a resilient, scalable, enterprise supportable platform. So let's talk about Fusion, two types of deployments with Fusion 5. We have self-hosting, which is a deployment on containerized solutions like Kubernetes on public, private, hybrid cloud environments. It is microservices based and it integrates with DevOps like we mentioned. So it allows you to actually keep the application up and running and update your services individually. It can also be managed where if you are lacking the ability to run Fusion on-premise or self-hosted, we on the Lucidworks side, we can host the whole application for you. It is professionally managed by experts at Lucidworks. We can help with code promotions. Obviously, we have SLAs around uptime and speed and throughput, and also 24/7, 365 support. If we were to drill into the self-hosted side, we're seeing two different scenarios in our customers currently. The customers that have been planning and ramping up their Kubernetes knowledge, and the customers that are just starting on that journey. So on the left-hand side, you have enterprises that have deep knowledge on how to run, scale, and maintain Kubernetes-based applications and architectures, and they can very easily switch the support model of bare OS or VMs to containers. And for that, the learning curve is pretty flat, and we're adding a lot of very good documentation for those types of operational teams that know how to run Kubernetes and are very comfortable just consuming the way Fusion is deployed on Kubernetes via what we call our survival guides, and they're shared through Lucidworks documentation. On the other side, the right-hand side, we have companies that are interested in modernizing their architecture, but yet do not have operational support for Kubernetes, either planned in the short term or the midterm. They're, however, open to offloading the infrastructure and operational burden completely. Easy way to manage an application with a flat learning curve. And for that, we have Lucidworks Kubernetes Service. And we'll spend the remainder of this presentation talking about this particular service. So the Lucidworks Kubernetes Service is a software as a service managed cloud with fully automated day-to operations and very robust SLAs around distributed Kubernetes clusters anywhere, on-prem, on bare OS, VMs, or public cloud environments, and even edge locations. And this is made possible by our partnership with a company called Platform 9 that is providing this type of technology for us. This particular software as a service component that allows you to manage infrastructure in all these environments is accessible through a control plane, which we're going to touch base in a little bit, and also APIs. So it makes it very convenient both for low-code type experience, but also for API developers. So how does this work? Platform 9 has a control plane that allows it to interact with on-prem architecture like bare metal, VMware, and OpenStack, and also public cloud environments like AWS, GCP, and Azure. And it allows it to manage that infrastructure through the control plane very easily. A little bit more detailed view is the way they're able, the facility is able to do that is by deploying agents on the infrastructure and communicating to the agents through the control plane. It is very straightforward, single pane of glass that allows you to deploy and manage Kubernetes anywhere, whether, just to repeat it, whether it's on your bare OS, on VMs, or on our public cloud instances and compute. To give you a gist of the Lucidworks Kubernetes Service user experience, obviously login screens that are fully integrated with your security layers. And then as you walk in, the dashboard kind of greets you with a health check and a health status of all your services, your servers, your storage, your network, your regions. And then you can start navigating throughout the control plane very easily by checking out infrastructure, your app catalogs, the deployments and services of your pods, any type of storage configurations, namespaces, user experience, etc. So a couple more snapshots here for pod management or deployment or services status, or managing roles, users, role bindings, cluster role bindings, etc. So it's very straightforward. This is a very easy learning curve for system admins that have been using these types of facilities, these types of control plane facilities for a while now. So if you're interested in Fusion 5 features, if you need to self-host the infrastructure and the data, and you do not have support for Kubernetes operations in the short or medium term, please ask us about the Lucidworks Kubernetes Service. We'll be happy to answer your questions. Enjoy Activate and have a great rest of the day. Thank you.